Hello, beloveds. Hello, beloveds. Welcome to Spirit First, live and direct with me, Claudette Athia Douglas, the Reverend Dread. I hope you are being blessed and uplifted and inspired. I'm just here to offer words of encouragement and support to all of you out there who are seeking to live a life that is Spirit First. So welcome to Spirit First, where we discuss, talk about, and learn about living a life that is Spirit First. And what is living a life that is Spirit First? Living a life that is Spirit First is when you live in alignment with your calling. We are all born called. Listen, before I go any further, I want you to like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already. And why it's such a great idea to like this video, it's because it helps the algorithm send this video right around the globe, and somebody somewhere will see it at a time where it will be the right message for them, because that's the purpose of Spirit First, is so that we can be each other's cheerleaders. By the way, if you're here in the chat, tell me where you're watching from. And if you are watching it on replay, tell me where you are watching from anywhere in the world. I want to hear from you. And I want to know what you are doing to fortify your spirit. Because today here at Spirit First, we're looking at our preparation for greatness. And in preparation for greatness, preparation for opportunity, we're looking at how we fortify our spirit. And what does that mean? And talking about living Spirit First is when we live in alignment with the calling of our lives. We are all born called. We're born with a calling on our life. We're born called to something that calls us, something that we yearn to do, something that only we can fulfill, a divine assignment. Each of us has a unique and divine assignment that we were called to do. And our purpose is to align ourselves with the divine will for our lives so that we are in alignment with that calling. And so that's what we're here to encourage each other today, to really be in alignment with our calling. Because, you know, one thing I want to remind us of is that all things are transformed by love. Love is the transformational force that coheres, drives, nourishes, and nurtures all existence itself. And the purpose of love is to do the will of God. The purpose of your life is to do the will of God for your life. So the purpose of your being here today is to remember that you have an obligation to your spirit to determine what is your calling and to go after it with every fiber of your being, and to fight the fear and discouragement from the enemy within and without that will try to dissuade you that you're not good enough, your ambition is too big, this is something that you can't achieve because of your past, because of your background, because of your race, because of your sexuality. Somehow the calling that God has on your life, you don't deserve it. I'm here to dissuade you and to remind you not just of who you are, but whose you are. A divine, unique, precious gift that you have to believe has the right to discover the fullness of your being. And so I just want to go through a few points today to just encourage you. And listen, encourage each other in the chat. Let's encourage each other. You know, how can we fortify ourselves? How can we fortify our lives? That fortification of the Spirit that is able to bolster us, to accelerate the intensity of our relationship with Spirit, to intensify the intimacy, to nourish and galvanize the power of the intelligent knowledge of Spirit that is able to develop in our lives. The more we develop the practices that allow us to flow in the motion with the spiritual forces that govern this universe. For every reaction, there is an equal and opposite reaction. The more we sow, the more we reap. The more we sow into our spiritual lives, the more our spiritual lives materialize in our physical reality. The more time we spend with Spirit, the more spiritual understanding we develop. The more spiritual understanding we develop, the more spiritual intelligence we have. The more spiritual intelligence we have, the more spiritual protection, power, and provision are we able to manifest on behalf of our lives, our family, maybe more importantly, on behalf of humanity itself. Every one of us has a humanitarian capacity to nourish and nurture some part of the world with the essence of what is inside of us. And when we live our life at the highest calling of our being, we are able to develop our spiritual voice and our spiritual capacity to be able to encourage, to nurture, to uplift ourselves and others. And therefore, we find that we are able to reach new heights within our own discovery of ourselves, to reach new places in our own ability to create, to develop, to regenerate, to heal, to grow. So being prepared for greatness is being prepared for the opportunity to grow and develop as the very best version of yourself. And that's the version of yourself that you deserve. So in preparing for greatness, what I would say, first of all, is think about a space in your place where you are going to sit down and do some work on yourself, on your potential, on your gifts, on your hopes and dreams. If you've got to get a planner, I just bought a new diary last week for 2023 because it's already getting busy for next year. Why? Because I need to start planning ahead for the next 6 months and see what it is that I want to achieve. I've got a new play that I'm devising that I have to produce, a new book that I'm writing that I have to schedule, a new tour that I'm thinking about that needs to be planned. Me have my dear job for do. Therefore, if you want to fire on all the cylinders of your life and use your gifts in the fullness of the capacity that you believe you were created to deliver your gifts, your dreams, your abilities, then you have to plan for it. So get a planner, get a desk, get somewhere. Some of us only have a tray. I know that, a little waiter, we call it in Jamaica. A tray, whatever you have. If you have to take out a board, use it and then push it back under the bed in the evening. Turn your hand McFashion. Use what you have, what is available to you. But find a space where you can do some work in planning what it is that you are going to do next in order to discover the fullness of yourself. So get that space, get a vision board. A vision board is good. A vision board is good, and you can use a vision board for as big a topic you want or small. The great thing with a vision board, it could be about one particular task. You know, there is nothing that can stop us from really drilling down into the things that we want to do. Because sometimes the reason why we don't go forward and move towards the next step of our dreams is because it looks so big. But when you break down the steps of where you want to go and then break them down further and drill down and then look at the task to get there, then it becomes much more manageable. It's one step at a time. What does the Bible tell us? I will be a lamp unto your feet. It didn't say I'm going to give you a whole big light. I'll give you a lamp, one piece of light at a time, one task at a time. So learning to do one task at a time is very, very important. So in preparing for greatness, it's about looking at your space so you can prepare your mind. You can prepare your time. You can prepare your notes. You can have your to-do list. And you can take yourself seriously in order to realize the fullness of who you are and whose you are. It's seed time and harvest. This is about seed time. Find a place in your home. Find a place in your life. Find a time in your schedule for seed time with God. And if you're watching now or watching on replay, tell me where you are. I'm not sure how to look at the comments yet, but I'm getting there, StreamYard. Thank you for this. But find a place, a time to nourish, nurture, work on yourself. So we want that time. You know that one of the most important things you can really do is to really get a schedule, morning schedule, and really get that mindset that I'm going to do this. Whether you're going to set an alarm, whatever it is, and it might take a number of attempts, but don't give up, don't get discouraged. If you fall off the wagon, just keep trying, and you just keep trying, and you will eventually get there. But you might be amazed how much resistance you will find within yourself and everything else, and how you've learned so long to distract yourself from doing what you need to do to discover who you are, to give yourself time to grow, because everybody else and everything else has been a priority for so long. So when you have deprioritized yourself and deprioritized your time, you find that there will be resistance. Push forward. This is the spiritual warfare that push forward. Even if you fall off, you jump back on again. You fall off today, you don't beat yourself up for it. Right, I'm back on it. I know what I'm after. I know what I'm after. I'm going to keep pushing to this till I get myself into a schedule where I'm able to be more productive in my life. So, and studies have shown that just by getting ourselves more productive, we really can move mountains. But what I want you to do, I want you first of all to morning pages. Up in the morning, writing your gratitude pages is a massive way of transforming your life within days. That early morning nourishment, togetherness, knitting of the mind and soul, that early morning, especially if you get the sun rising and you're writing that gratitude journal to God, what I'm hopeful for, what I'm thankful for, what I'm grateful about, and you just set your mind, that has a massive impact on your well-being and sense of self. Very, very important. Another thing, and that's for the morning. For the evening, another very powerful tool is to write down the 3 most important tasks you have for tomorrow. Write them in your diary or to do this. And it will cement something in our minds. Our minds are quite photographic, so it will cement something. And again, it fuels us. And you'll find that in the mornings, you're able to accomplish those tasks quicker with much less resistance than before. And again, many studies have shown that this is something that helps to reprogram and reset the mind. And the wonderful thing about the mind, about the brain, is that it grows new areas of itself. Even the brain that has been damaged, that they used to think maybe just 20, 30 years ago, that if the brain was damaged, that was it. And they realized, no, the brain is this magnificent tool that we know so little about, but it's able to regenerate itself in different parts and grow new pathways, new areas. And so we are able to retrain our brain by just nudging ourselves. You know, when you just turn a plant and you turn it towards the light, you see it just starting to grow. So some of these things are nudges. Early morning, getting up, writing those gratitude pages, being grateful, just writing down what you're grateful for, hopeful for, letting your heart open up to the universe, opens up a supply of goodness and mercy, and the fruits of the Spirit come into your life, into your mind, into your heart. Writing down those 3 most important tasks for tomorrow resets and reprograms our mind. And thirdly, what I would say when you do any task is the 1-touch rule. And that is start it, stay with it, finish it. Don't get distracted by anything. And in fact, if you can do all of your 3 most important tasks without having to go to your social media, you might look at the phone, maybe, fair enough, but you're not on our usual medias having a look or a scroll. You do that before, your rate of productivity can go up by 90%. We start to train our brain to focus on our focus, and then we can let in some of the world. We're not looking to be purist here, but we get our intentions out there first. And we find that our mind starts to work and to grow in that way where our intentions, the dreams and the visions of our hearts, the things we need to do, the things we accomplish in a way that is seamless, purposeful, and productive. So the more we spend time with Spirit, the more fruitful we become. Because you see, one thing, saints, when you are aligned with Spirit, you're going to become fruitful. But we're going to learn whether we're fruitful or not. When we are aligned and living, working, becoming, breathing Spirit first, we learn through multiplication. We learn through growth. We learn through transformation. We learn through development. We learn through creativity. We learn through regeneration. But if we are not aligned with our Spirit, we're going to learn. But we learn by division, or we learn by subtraction. Because that's the way that the universal laws of the universe work. Because what we sow, we reap. But also, what we don't sow subtracts from us. We don't stay stagnant. We degenerate. If we don't grow, we don't stay the same. We fragment. If we don't regenerate and develop, it's not that we're stuck, it's that we're sinking. And that is why I'm here. And that is why Spirit First exists. So that none of us need deteriorate because of lack of knowledge. Because of lack of knowledge, we may not know that we have the tools to improve our lives and our mind. And one of the most important things about this change of behavior, because that is the fortification of your life, is escalating your relationship with God. Fortification of your life is by intensifying your everyday relationship with God. To fortify your life is upscaling the attention and devotion and dedication that you have to your life by deepening the intimacy and the veracity of the supernatural experiences that exist in this divine earth school that we're in, so that we are cognizant of the power within us and around us to nourish and nurture and use the transformational power of love in our own lives to heal and transform, grow and share, and to utilize that power in a world that is crying out for love. Spirit first. So we are here to serve each other and to create a world that is free from enmity and wickedness and evil. But in order to do so, we must root out the enmity and division within our own hearts and minds. That enmity that would stop us from loving ourselves, nourishing ourselves, living Spirit first, where we care for ourselves and we nourish our divine relationship with Spirit, with the natural world all around us to learn from, where we care for each other and ourselves. We owe it to ourselves to have the most amazing experience of this life that is possible. And why should you live it in monochrome when you can have the whole multicolored, multi-sensory experience of life? Why should you live a life that is mediocre when you could have the miraculous and the wonderful and the fulfilling? No. Fortify your life by doing the work, making the time, making the schedule, getting determined, getting serious with the part of your life that actually matters most, your relationship with yourself. Because this is about you and I becoming and living as our own best friends, where our spiritual well-being is nourished and nurtured. What's the payoff? Freedom from anxiety. What's the payoff? Freedom from fear. What's the payoff? Courage that comes to aid you even when you feel like giving up. Courage that comes from within. Energy that comes from without. The very vibrations in every cell of your body send out energy and waves that bring in the prosperity, the productivity, and the provision of God, the creator of heaven and earth. Spirit first is your birthright and mine. To possess a mind that is free from self-tyranny. Spirit first is your birthright and mine. To have thoughts that are free from oppression. To have thoughts that neither oppress yourself or others is the gift of a sovereign, compassionate, and generous creator. And it is available to all those that seek it. It's not free because it comes at a cost of putting aside all others in so much that time in your life significant, whether it's an hour a day, half an hour. Listen, there's serious times. If you're looking at the world right now and not seeing that the agents of love are needed, then listen, it's serious. And I would recommend at least an hour a day, whether it's in half in the morning, half in the night, however you're going to do this thing, till it becomes more. Because you know what? Once you start doing it, it actually becomes an all-consuming way of thinking. But in the early stages, take your time and start setting aside that time for spiritual nourishment and growth. And the great thing is, beloveds, when you ask Spirit to enter your life, your mind, your thinking, it's going to show up everywhere. And you're here because it's already showing up. You're here because Spirit showed up in your life. And I'm just here as a confirmation, an affirmation that, hey, you are on the right track. And whatever Spirit is saying to you, yes, it is you. That dream is yours. Because what? Spirit's got a dream. God's got a dream for you, bigger than you could ever dream for yourself. Your capabilities, your capacity is unique. And those dreams and visions you have of what you might be able to accomplish the words you want to say, the voice you believe you have. You can hear it. You hear it. You hear that inner voice, those inner words, that inner song, the inner book, the inner creativity, the inner moving, the inner musings, the inner unction to function. You hear it within you. So I'm here to encourage you. Spend time with your spirit. Take yourself seriously. Take your gifts seriously. And take the time that we have here on this planet seriously too. Nobody, beloved, nothing promises us tomorrow. But we go forward in faith. And faith is when you're pushing forward and just lean in. We go forward in faith, but we go forward asking and demanding. We ask and it will be given. It will be given. It will be given. And when you ask with praise. You thank him. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I'm joyful. Listen, I'm blessed. I'm favored. I'm in a home. I'm warm. I've got food on my table. I'm blessed more than many billions on this planet. And I should be jumping up praising on a daily. And if you're not, something wrong. So joy unspeakable is supposed to be ours. And living spirit first unleashes the joy that passeth all understanding into our lives. And then we can encourage ourselves and be an encouragement to each other and find more healing, cohesion as we grow. So, beloveds, it was wonderful to be with you, live and direct. And yes, I've been on here for a while. Wow, I've done my first live, and heaven knows how long I've been on, but I'm reminding you, fortifying your life is to escalate that relationship with God. Fortify your life by intensifying your experience with the Spirit. Fortify your life by intensifying the intimacy, the time you spend. Whether I walk in the park, some people do yoga, some people meditate. Whatever it is you do to touch base, spend time with that time when you develop that intimacy, you and spirit, thinking, nurturing, processing. Nourish that time, and you start to yearn for that time. And you realize how much you need that time and how much that time needs you. Beloveds, like this video, send it around the universe with the algorithms of YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be live and direct with you soon. Take care. Bye. Bye-bye.